G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome back of course to the Time Bomb channel. Hope all is good in your part of the world, and today's watch review is the Marathon Jeep Rubicon TSAR Large, and it could quite possibly be the Charlton Heston of wristwatches. Let's just unbox here. It is, I think, as you'll see, a wrist-borne monument to steel and ruggedness that carries the Jeep branding in an interesting collaboration between the two brands. I featured quite a few car and watch collaborations in the past, so I'll pop up a link to a couple of them just up there in case you wanted to check them out. And let me just zoom in so we can get a little bit closer up with this one. So this particular watch has been lent into the channel by First Class Watches here in the UK. As I said previously, I'm so stoked to be working with them as I've bought from them in the past, and they have this great little make us an offer on pricing that has won me over, don't tell the wife, several times in the past. So massive thanks to them for the loan. Really do appreciate it. Do check them out, and please also just do tell them that you've come to them from the channel. As for Marathon, let me just pop the crown in there. As you can see, this is a brand new watch. This is the first time it's ticked in public, at least. Get the glove wrapped up in the crown there. So as I was saying, as for Marathon as a brand, I've liked them from afar, and I've never owned one, and that's down to a couple of reasons. Many folks swear by the watches, the brand. Many others complain that bits fall off. So I'd kind of really love to hear your experiences of these, please. For example, I've read about watches and seen them where the trit tubes and the hour markers have come off. And whilst that's fairly easy to replace and fix with them floating around on the dial, getting in the way of the hands, etc., I don't think is a good idea at all. So definitely make sure that you register your watch to get that extended guarantee. But others have had their Marathons for years and say they've beaten them up every which way but loose, and they're still ticking on superbly. And they also do then currently issue to several militaries, so you'd be hoping that they're getting proper tested with proper use there. So some quick specs on this collaboration. It's the standard SAR models. So this particular one then is 41 mils across. You are going to need to add a couple of mils because that crown does protrude quite a lot. North to south, we're looking then at 48 mils, and it is 14 mils deep, so it is quite deep, but it wears very well on wrist, as I will show you in 1 second. It comes on 20 mil lugs. Personally, I'm a big fan of 22s or 24s because I just think it adds a little bit more. It holds the weight of the head much better on wrist when you do have those wider straps. Let me just throw it on wrist so while I'm talking here. It comes with 300 meters worth of watery goodness, but I couldn't see anywhere if that is ISO or an ISO rating for their watery goodness. For reference, my wrist even is 7¼ inches, and as you can see, the north to south works brilliantly. And I don't think it's at all too large. I'll stick up some external shots so you can see it a little bit more in proportion to the body as a whole. But the 36 mils to me, I think they're too small for these watches because it just reduces the aperture of the dial too much. And the jumbo divers that they do, I'm guessing you've got to have 7¼ to 7½ inch upwards to really get full benefit of those. Let's just come back to the dial so I can show you a couple of the other pointers around the Jeep collaboration. So obviously the first one then is the Marathon logo has been replaced under the 12. The hours indices then are obviously the numerals, that's the word I was looking for. The numerals obviously then feature that tan color, and then between the 10 and the 12 and the 3 even, you've got the speedometer flash of red from the Jeep's dials. The Rehort also, while we're looking at the dial, is a veritable vertical sheer drop of steel. It's absolutely fantastic to see. I mean, that's probably one of the deepest dish watches I've seen in quite a long time. Buzzing away inside then, we have the ETA High Torque, the F06 quartz whilst a trusty movement, that to me is also one of the areas where the price point of marathons has become a bit of an issue in the past. That FO6 movement can be bought for around $30. Yes, that's little. So there's a huge slice of goodwill payment going on here, and whilst I certainly don't begrudge them making a living, I would ask simply that they upgrade the movement, and that would also then give them the opportunity, I think, to fix the wonky date window, bung it up at the 3, and yeah, job's a good one. The case body, as you can see before, is that super brush steel, and I just absolutely love it. It's anyone with a steel fetish, yeah, you're getting your boxes ticked here. And obviously then you've got the Jeep grille on this side, and then on the reverse side again, super buttresses here, which protect that very extended crown. And then obviously again your Jeep Star logo on there. So again, some nice little, if you want to call them, Easter eggs of the Jeep branding that come on the watch. The case back, sorry, as well features very similar, so it's a little bit more wordy than the standard marathon case backs, because obviously then you're getting quite a lot of the Jeep blurb on the back there. But I love the way that how the that case back sits so snugly and so tightly into that case body. Really nice indeed. And then as you can see, the little curvature there, downward droops of the lugs as well. Really nice. I think the aesthetics of the watch are absolutely fantastic. It's sort of the epitome of a dive watch design, in that it's over-engineered, it's stocky, it's solid, it's legible. Kind of makes me wish I was still diving. The deep dish on the dial as well, another thing that I wanted to say, I think just adds another visual layer to the watch, which I think is brilliant and very unique to Marathon. And my understanding as well is that one of the reasons for that is because the way that the trit tubes, I'll put up some close-ups, the way the trit tubes stand up over the hands, they need a lot of extra spacing between those so that the hands can pass over the top of each other. So again, nice little interesting detail. The loom is a lot of fun on these. As you can see, you have both tritium tubes on the hands and the hour markers, which are going to provide you then with your continuous shine. Notice also the decent touch of the orange at the 12, which I love, because in the dark it helps you orient the watch. And then you've got the brand's own Maraglow loom on the Jeep logo, and that inner hour scale also. The steel bracelets on these are often criticised as not being up to the price point, so I'm really glad to see it on this utility FKM rubber. I think it's absolutely superb. And notice then also in the box, they do give you the longer versions of these. So if you've got much larger wrists, just so you can see proportionally, you've got much larger wrists, you are well provided for with, or if you're considering wearing these over, dive suits, jumpsuits, etc., then you're well catered to. Beautiful, beautifully crafted buckle on there as well with the logo. Yeah, there's some really nice touches to these watches, and that's one of the reasons why I've always liked them from afar in the past. The bezel on this watch is designed to be used, and that may sound a little twee, but hear me out. I often find that on many watches, the bezels are there to complete the look of the watch. This one is the complete opposite. It's tactile, easy to use with gloves, and that's also easy to use when wet. You will also notice how it just dominates the over the case body of the watch. The crenellations on that are designed for use. They're not there for good looks, and I think that just sort of contributes to the concept of how the design concept and how fundamental the bezel is to the overall performance of the watch. It's 120 clicker, and it sounds like this. It's not a tight spring in that bezel, and I prefer mine to be a little bit tighter, because then they're not as easy to knock out of place. But there's no play moving it backwards on here. But just as I say, on that forward movement is quite light touch, And as I say, with those huge crenellations, I think it's probably quite easy to catch that in your pocket as you're shoving your hands in your pockets or something, and therefore it could knock them out of place. Admittedly, if you're underwater, you might not be using your pockets very much, so perhaps that's where that the rationale for that comes from. Coming on to the crown, it really is just my size. I'm an absolute hater of tiny fiddly crowns. This one turns with ease. As I say, beautiful. God, dear. It's just what I've been wishing for on so many crowns for so many years. And again, very, very easy, very smooth connection there. So again, that's testament to that movement. As I say, no issue at all with the movement. I just think perhaps for the price point that they could just put something even better in there for the price point that they're selling that. And that is £1,300. That's £1,300 here in the UK. But again, I would drop First Class Watches a price offer option, and I'm sure that they'll do their best to help you. The watch overall, I'm absolutely in love with the rugged good looks of this watch, and I've been sitting there looking at it on the desk all day today. Very, very impressed with it. Interesting collaboration with the Jeep brand. Again, you know, military brands, both of them for a very, very long time. So yeah, a unique and positive collaboration, I think, in that sense. But the question, of course, then is, are they enough to overcome some of those weak spots that I've pointed out just now? Do let us know your thoughts down below. Really look forward to reading your comments. Thanks as always, for your time and for your view. And we'll catch you all in the next vid. Cheers, guys. Thank you.